Shalon's not here to grin at the camera. She actually is in Florida visiting our mother for a couple of days and kind of got involved with a bunch of stuff that she's doing down there, seeing people that she hasn't seen for a while, visiting other family members. So she won't be with us today. But Galena and I
Hmm.
have a what, top ever how many list?
Yeah, I only have seven.
Okay, I went with seven too, since Shalom wasn't going to be with us. So,
Yeah,
but that's 14 things that we can talk
yeah,
about. And
yeah.
um, I went with food.
I did, but I went specifically with sandwiches.
Okay, well, I went with my favorite meals to prepare.
Okay,
So,
okay. Yeah, my sandwiches, I only have one on here that I have not actually made myself. That's one of my favorites. But all of the
oh,
others that are
okay,
on here are ones that I've made myself. So,
okay. Well, let's hear them.
well, number one, grilled
Oh, wait a
cheese.
minute.
What?
Welcome to Sister Sharp and Sister.
Oh,
My name is Karen, and that right there is Delena. And we're going to do our top seven favorite
yes.
Dee Dee has sandwiches. So, okay, now go.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I have sandwiches. The first one I have on my list is a grilled cheese.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay. Now, typically when I make the grilled cheese, and one of the reasons I like it so much is number one, it's easy. Well, it's yummy. It's easy to make,
Hmm.
and you can do lots of different things with it if you want, or add it to like soup or whatever. Not in the
Yeah.
soup, but have soup on the side.
Hmm.
So generally, when I make the grilled cheese, is I will use sharp cheddar on mine, pepper jack cheese on my husband's. But I have made a grilled cheese using smoked Gouda cheese.
Yeah.
It was
I've
really
used
good.
provolone on a grilled cheese as
Okay.
well.
I've not used provolone, but I've used smoked Gouda and it was really good. Now, I will typically use white bread, but I will tell you when I made the smoked Gouda, the only bread I had was whole grain and it was really good.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So I don't know if whole grain will work well with other types of grilled cheese, but with the smoked Gouda, it was really good.
Okay.
And so that's
Do you
my number
use
one. And
like
of course,
a
I always
do you use like a Texas toast bread when
no,
you can
I just
find
use
it?
regular. No, I don't really like the really thick bread.
Hmm.
I mean, the only time I might like a really thick bread like that is if I'm making garlic bread for spaghetti.
Right, yeah.
But for me, for a sandwich, I like just the regular standard bread.
Sandwich bread.
So yeah. Um, so no, but now I do use butter, real butter, salted butter, and I always make it at my house. I always make it in a cast iron skillet.
It's better in a cast iron skillet.
Yes, yes. And I either use a small 9-inch one if I'm cooking only for me, or if I'm cooking for me and my husband, I'll use a larger skillet because you can make more in it, and it's pretty easy to make. I take the skillet and heat it up on medium heat, and I put butter in it to melt it. I take butter, softened butter, spread it on 2 slices of bread. I put one slice in the pan once it gets hot. Put the cheese on it. Take the other slice, butter side up, put it on the cheese, and I put a lid on it. Put that lid on it, it helps the cheese melt. So when you go to flip it, it's going to stick together and not fall apart.
Hmm.
Hmm. And once it's been in there, maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes or whatever, I flip it over and do the other side for another 5 minutes or so, maybe seven, to get it dark enough. Depends on how dark you want it. And then
Yeah.
you've got yourself a good sandwich. And
Yeah.
I often, not always, but I often like to have them with tomato basil soup.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Maybe it was when we were going to school. I don't know if you remember, for lunch, a lot of times they would have tomato soup and peanut butter sandwich.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's what I like to have with my tomato soup
Oh, yeah. Okay.
is peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah, I always do grilled cheese with mine. I mean, sometimes I just do tomato soup with crackers, but if I'm going to do a grilled cheese and make like a meal out of it and not just like a snack, I will use the tomato basil soup, and I take my grilled cheese sandwich and I always cut them in half. And I take it and I'll dip it in the soup and then bite the sandwich and then dip it in and bite it and dip it until the sandwich is gone and then I eat the soup.
Yeah, and a grilled cheese is good with potato soup as well.
Okay. Oh, I bet it would be. Yeah. 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 And you can
Yeah.
also do other things with it because something I've done with it is now it's been a long time since I've made tacos, but one of the times that I made tacos, I had the leftover meat that you put in the tacos, the
Hmm.
ground beef and all the flavorings. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And I was like, And I was like, I think I'm going to make a grilled cheese. And then as soon as it comes out of the pan, you pull it open. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to get it open. But you pull
So
it
you tell
open.
your bread.
Yeah. And I do that with mine anyway because I always eat mayonnaise on mine. And people say that's weird, but I do. You can
I the
also put
same.
tomatoes on it. And I've
Same.
I've had it with tomatoes on it. I don't normally put tomatoes on it, but I've had it like that and it is good. But what I did with the taco meat is I took the grilled cheese as soon as it got out of the skillet, and I opened it up, and I took that meat which I had heated and put inside of it, and then put it back together.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I apologize for yawning so much. I slept
It's
like
okay.
crap last night.
That's all right. Yeah, I'm not real rested myself, so I'll probably be joining you.
Now, a friend of mine and Arnie's is a trained chef. It's not what he
Mhm.
does for his career, but he went to school for it.
Mhm.
Um, he fixes his grilled cheese by putting mayonnaise on the outside of the bread instead of butter.
I've heard of that, but I've not tried it.
Yeah, not Miracle Whip, but mayonnaise, like
Yeah.
a Duke's or a Hellman's, something like that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I've heard of that. I have not tried it. Maybe I will at some point, but I typically just use the butter. And I like mayonnaise, so
Yeah, me too.
yeah. Now the number two sandwich I've got, I am actually making today for supper and for lunch tomorrow.
Okay.
It's a barbecue beef with coleslaw on a hoagie roll or other similar type of bread, and you can even use a hamburger bun in a pinch. Yes. So you take your beef, and chuck roast is a good choice to get because it's not really expensive. It's more affordable. It's yummy. You can get it this particular cut of beef. You can get it with all the marbling through it, which you want because the marbling not only makes it taste better, it helps make the beef easier to tear apart
Yeah.
for when you're making your sandwich. Um, but
You got some of
that's
those
what I use.
you got some of those meat claws.
I don't. I don't have any. Dang it, I don't have any. But that's cooking now, and that's generally how I will do that. Is that I will put it in a slow cooker and I'll put a bunch of water in with it, and I'll make like the beef broth. Now the beef broth you can save and use for something else, like to make a soup with or flavoring for something. You can even use it to make your rice in instead of just using plain water. What I do sometimes these days, because we got the working dogs, is I'll put it in a little bowl for the dogs and let them drink it, and they really like it.
Oh yeah.
So it's nutrition for them and stuff. So I will do it for them. But you can do all kinds of things with that beef broth. But I let it cook and for about 8 or 9 hours because I generally will put my slow cooker on a slow cook for 10 hours, and I'll let it cook up for 8 to 9 hours, and then I will go in and drain out most of the broth, and then I'll tear it all apart, and then I do a homemade barbecue sauce and put in it for about another 30 minutes or an hour.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then after I do that, I take it and spoon it out into like a container I can put in the refrigerator, and from there we put it on our rolls and we have our sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I
Yeah,
do
that's
coleslaw
good.
with it too.
Oh
I
yeah.
do. I make myself some coleslaw, and we put coleslaw on it. We put the meat on the bun, and then put some coleslaw on top of it, and then close that sandwich by putting the top on it, and
Yeah.
that's it. Now I don't put anything on my bread. I mean, I suppose you can, and you can toast your bread if you want, but I
Yeah.
generally don't. Not for that. So
Yeah.
that's
I
yeah.
like it with pickles too.
Pickles, you can do pickles. I don't usually do the pickles, but you can absolutely.
That's a good sandwich. One of my favorite sandwiches.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I got it at number two. Yeah, I love it because I don't make it real often, but it's something I make often enough to where I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Because I've done it enough to do that. Number three, I have for my favorite sandwich, and then I know you can't tell I'm a Southern girl by this, but If you can't tell, then there's something wrong with you. Is a tomato and mayo sandwich.
Oh, yes. Fresh garden
Yes,
tomatoes,
yes, yes. The tomatoes
salt.
have to be they have to be ripe, but not too ripe. And it is much better if they're fresh tomatoes, meaning fresh off the vine, not from the store. Although you can do it from the store, and they are still really good from the store. But
Yeah.
if you have your own tomatoes, they're really good with those. Or go to a farmer's market and get you some fresh tomatoes like that, and you slice them as thick as you want them. Put mayonnaise on both slices of your bread. Put your tomato slices in it, however many you want. However many you want, you put on what you want. Put you some salt on it and or pepper. Slap that two pieces of bread together with that tomato in the middle of it, and you eat it, and it's really good.
Mm, so good.
Really, really good. Yes. Um, I've heard that some people toast their bread when they do it, but I've never toasted my bread to do it. So I guess you
Mm-mm.
could if you wanted to, but I never have. And if you want to spice it up a little bit, you can take that mayonnaise and maybe put a little bit of ketchup in it and a little bit of hot sauce, and you spread that on your sandwich, and then put your tomato in the middle of it. If you want some spice, it's good too. If you like spice,
I've never done it with like a spicy.
yeah, it's pretty good. It's good either way. I mean, if you don't like spice, it's still good.
Yeah. That's probably my all-time favorite sandwich.
Right? Yeah. hmm
Mm,
Tomato and mayo. It's a
yeah.
big thing in the South. I don't know if there's anybody listening to us who are from the northern states or western states or what have you, but here in the Southeast, it's a big deal.
Yep.
Yes, it is a big deal. Especially when you're growing your own tomatoes and it's time and to pick them and you pick them and like the one of the very first things you do with them is you make a tomato and mayonnaise sandwich. You make sure you have your mayo. Yes,
Yes.
and I'm talking mayo, not Miracle Whip.
No, not that stuff.
Now, some people may like the Miracle Whip. It's a sandwich spread. That's fine, but I don't do the Miracle Whip. So now my next one, number 4, is a club sandwich.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Now, I've never made a club sandwich, but it's one of my favorites. So if I go out to eat and I go to like a deli or something and they have a club sandwich, there's a chance I'm probably going to order it.
Yeah, we've made club sandwiches for dinner before.
Okay. Was it easy, hard? Because I know
No,
it
they're
takes
easy.
3 pieces of bread per sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah, they're easy.
Okay.
And it can be just a regular club sandwich, or you can make it a Dagwood club sandwich. Aging
Yeah,
myself.
that's yeah. Yeah. And of course, whenever I have them, I gotta have the bacon on it and stuff. It can be turkey, chicken, it doesn't matter, but I gotta have that bacon on it, and lettuce and tomato
Mm.
and mayo, and pickles on it's good too. I've had pickles on them; they're very good, and
Yeah,
it's
Bob
always
Evans
toasted
makes a
bread.
good one.
I don't think I've had the one from Bob Evans. There's a place in town in Gallatin called McAllister's Deli.
Oh yeah, I've
They
eaten
make
it
a
at
really good club.
McAllister's.
Yeah, they make really good club sandwiches because if I'm working overtime or if I'm really tired and don't feel like cooking and I want to bring home some supper for my husband, I'll stop there. Sometimes I stop there and I'll always get him a sandwich called a Black Angus Club and he
Mm.
likes it. Yeah.
Yeah, we ate one of those when I went to visit, when we went to Mississippi to visit our two kids that lived down there.
hmm It's a good sandwich. Number 5 I have, which I have made, is a BLT. Yep. Easy to make. You just need your bacon. Now I'm a crunchy bacon person. I am
Same.
not I am not a floppy bacon person. My husband is a floppy bacon person. I have a problem making floppy bacon. I just don't know how to do it. So, but I have made these before, and they're yummy. And you can toast the bread or not. For my opinion, it's good either way.
I do
I
like mine
like
on I do like
what's that?
mine toasted for a BLT.
Yeah, I do like it toasted. I've had it not toasted, and it's good, but I do prefer it on the toasted. Now, for me, I always like to put mayonnaise on both slices of the bread.
I thought that was just a given
Well, me too, but
for
I've done
any
it before, and
sandwich.
people watch. Well, that's what I thought too. But then people see me making my sandwich. They go, "Why are you putting it on both slices of the bread?" I'm like, "Are you supposed to?" But I
I mean,
guess
it's your
not.
sandwich glue, right?
Yeah, right, right. Yeah,
Hold your bread on there.
yeah. Or if you're doing the old fashioned bologna and cheese sandwich, you can put mayonnaise on one bread, mustard on the other, put them together, and you got yourself a nice, yummy sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I put it on both slices of bread. Not everybody does, apparently, but I do. So that's what I do with it. Then I put my lettuce on there, and then I put my tomato, then I put my bacon, and then I usually put another piece of lettuce on top of that to make like a lettuce sandwich. And then I put the piece of bread on it and top it, cut it in half, and I eat it.
Hmm.
And it's good.
I am going to be so hungry when we're finished recording.
Yeah. My next one for number 6 is a chicken salad sandwich.
Oh, I love chicken salad. So
Yes.
good.
Now, I make chicken salad, some people call it a little funny because when I make
Why?
chicken salad, well, most of the time when I make it, I use leftover chicken.
Okay.
Now, sometimes I'll get it from a can and make it or whatever, but most of the time I make it with leftover chicken. So, how much of stuff I put in it will depend on exactly how much chicken I have. But
Right.
typically, the way I like to make the chicken salad is you put your standard stuff in it, like you have your chicken, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I usually use dill relish. If I don't have dill relish, I'll cut up some dill pickles. You can use sweet relish or sweet pickles if you want. I like to put onions in it. My husband does not like raw onions, so I typically don't include those. But I prefer to have raw onions in it, and I
Mm-hmm.
like the strong bite of onions, so I will choose a stronger onion instead of a sweet onion. But you can put a
Oh,
sweet onion in it if you want. And I love to add English walnuts
yes.
and grapes,
Yep.
and I
And
cut the grapes in
celery.
half. I don't put celery in it. Not a big fan of celery myself. It's not that I hate it, but I only like it on occasion. So,
Yeah.
but and I take the grapes, I cut them in half, and I've quartered them before, make
Mm-hmm.
them smaller. And a lot of times when I do that, I'll cut them in half and I'll peel them, take the skin off of them, just have
Oh,
the
I don't go
insides of the
that far.
grapes in there. Yeah, I mean, I don't do that every time because that's time consuming. It's pretty time consuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you put those in it and you mix it all up. You put some mayonnaise in it, it holds it all together, and you got yourself a really yummy sandwich spread there. And it's it's delish. It's really good.
Now you were
Um,
talking about getting a club, like if you go to a deli to eat,
hmm
if
hmm
they've got a chicken salad on a croissant, that's
hmm
my go-to
Yes,
at
and
a
I do
deli.
that too. I do that too sometimes. I didn't used to, but I think it was at the McAllisters that I was reading their menu, and I was like, I wonder if that's any good. And I got it, and it is really good. So yes,
Really good. It's
yes.
the first thing
So
I
you
ate
can,
there.
yep, yep. You can use white bread or croissants, and I've actually done that at home too. Is got croissants specifically to make chicken salad and put it on it for it. Um, some people will put in like um, raisins or craisins in there. I don't do that, but I've heard people say they do. I don't do that. If I'm going to put something in it like that, I put the real grape in it.
Yeah.
So, so that's
Yeah.
what I
Use the
do
whole
with.
fruit.
Yeah. Okay. And my last one, number 7, is ham and Swiss on rye or whole grain bread.
Ham and Swiss.
hmm
I'm not a
I
real big Swiss cheese fan.
oh, I like Swiss.
Yeah, Arnie likes Swiss. That's his go-to cheese. I
Oh,
like
okay.
extra sharp cheddar.
Yes, extra sharp cheddar is my go-to, but I do like Swiss. Um, I had heard for years ham and Swiss is so good. Ham and Swiss is so good, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, 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 whatever. And I'd never tried Swiss before, and then I don't remember. I was out somewhere, and there was a ham and Swiss on rye, and I ordered it, and it was pretty good. And I was like, oh, that's good. So I will on occasion get some ham, and it can be whatever kind of ham that you get. It can be delicate ham, or it can be ham you've made at home, like a big ham hock or whatever, and make it, and then slice it up for a sandwich, and put some Swiss on there, and put um, mayonnaise, of course, on each slice of bread. It's really good toasted, but it works not toasted. Um, lettuce and tomato and onions. That's good stuff. Putting those onions on there. And pickles are really good on it too.
Hmm.
Yes.
Have you ever had a Monte Cristo?
Does not sound familiar, but
I think
I have to
that's
look up what it is.
yeah, are you looking it up?
Yeah.
I think that's, they put powdered sugar on it, but it's ham. I think it's ham. It's been a minute. Did you find it?
It's a fried sandwich with ham, turkey, Swiss cheese, and mustard, dipped
Uh,
in beaten egg and pan fried until golden and gooey for a delicious alternative to your usual ham and cheese sandwich. I've never tried that before. I'll have to try it at some point.
yeah. Yeah, you
Okay.
said that you like the ham and Swiss, and it made me think of that. I knew there was something else on it, and it was the turkey. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen
Yeah, I.
them with
Mhm.
bacon on it too.
Oh, I bet that's good. Yeah, pig and pig.
It's hard to beat pig on pig.
So that's what I got. Now I didn't pull any recipes from anywhere because anything but that club sandwich I've been making myself for years.
Yeah.
So I mean, some of it's just stuff I learned growing up, seeing our mom cook and our grandmoms cook and stuff like that, and just aunts cooking, whoever. So they're like family things that have been in our family for decades.
Oh yeah.
So I don't have any recipes other than, I mean, I can tell you what I put in them. Like I can tell you how I make my coleslaw.
Yeah, go ahead. See if we make it the
Well,
same.
I take real cabbage head. I don't buy the grated cabbage already grated or anything like that. I get a cabbage head. I take the outer leaves off. You don't have to throw them away because they work pretty good for making rolled cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're like me and you got chickens, you can just cut them up and feed them to the chickens. Or you can compost them.
Mm-hmm.
But I always take those off. And then I wash the head of lettuce real good. Then I pat
Lettuce.
it dry. Sorry, cabbage. Cabbage, cabbage,
What kind of
head of
coleslaw you
cabbage.
making?
It's weird. So the cabbage head, and I wash it real good, and then I dry it off, and I have the stem. Turn it off to the side. We're sticking out to the side, and then I cut it down the center. Now I know some people will cut it to where they cut the stem, but because I have chickens, they like cabbage, and most of the time I do not use an entire cabbage head when I make my coleslaw. I have to find something else to make to use the rest of it or whatever. But with the chickens, I'll take it and I got this little device that I stick through the cabbage head. It's half a cabbage head, and I hang it outside for the chickens and they eat it.
Okay, keeps it up off the ground for him.
Yeah, yeah. And they eat it and they like it. I mean, they like cabbage. So that's how I do my coleslaw when I cut it. I cut it like that with the stem out to the side, one side or the other, and I cut the top of it off. And then I take that and cut it into small pieces, put it in a food processor. I don't grate it, or I mean, I don't shred it. I cut it towards tiny pieces because
Like chopped real
I,
fine.
I, yes, because I've had the other type of coleslaw, and I don't think it stays on the sandwich real good or stays on the hot dog real good. I think the kind that, like when it's chopped real small, it stays on better.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. And after I do that, I take maybe, I don't know, half a carrot peeled, and I put it in and I slice it up as small as the cabbage and I mix that all together, add some salt and pepper, probably, I don't know, maybe half tablespoon, no, not half a tablespoon, maybe 2 teaspoons of salt, um, maybe a teaspoon of pepper. And I'm guessing because I just do this, and I put it in there and mix it up and I smell it, and that's how I do it. So I'm trying to guess.
Yes,
And
yes,
then
I
I
had to go by
do,
smell too.
yeah. And I do like maybe a tablespoon of sugar, white sugar. Yep. And then I put in, now a lot of people will use apple cider vinegar for this, and they can, and there's nothing wrong with it. I use white distilled vinegar because I like the bite.
Yeah, same.
Yes. So I'll use at least a tablespoon of white distilled vinegar, and I put in at least a tablespoon of lemon juice because the lemon juice
Oh,
adds an extra little bit of bite to it, but it can also help keep it from changing colors.
okay.
Because you know how sometimes you'll get fruits and vegetables and they'll change colors because they're out and they're in the air or whatever. and you coat them with lemon juice, so it can
Yeah.
help stop them changing colors. So, but anyway, it does add a nice flavor to it. So I do that, and then I mix it all up. And then I smell it. It smells. Um, and then I take mayonnaise, and I probably start with maybe 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. And when I'm talking tablespoon, I don't have the little measuring tablespoon. I mean like a
One of the big spoons out of your kitchen drawer,
yes.
like
And
you
I
eat
take
soup
it, and
with.
yeah, so like a soup spoon. I'll take it and I put it in the mayonnaise jar, and I pull out a big humping spoonful, throw it in. Do another one, throw it in. Then I have another spoon I'm using to mix it up with because I don't want to get that one dirty because I may need more mayonnaise.
That's right.
So and I mix it up real good, and then I usually get me a fork and I taste it. I'm like, oh, that needs more vinegar. So I add more vinegar to it, or needs a little more salt or what have you. So, and that's what I do, and that's how I make it. It's real easy, but I don't measure when I make coleslaw. I
Yeah,
go by the way it looks and the way it tastes.
I don't use I don't use the lemon juice, but
Okay.
everything else is the same.
Yeah. I mean, I think I make pretty good coleslaw. My husband likes it. So,
Yeah,
so I
I
make my
have a hard
coleslaw.
time going to restaurants and eating their coleslaw.
I do too.
One of the best places that has a good coleslaw is actually Long John Silver's.
This is true. Yes, they do.
Um, the place that had the absolute best coleslaw was Chick-fil-A,
Mm,
and then they got rid of it.
mm,
There is a copycat recipe floating around on Pinterest for it, though.
okay.
Now, my top seven are favorite meals to cook. And this is really in no particular order for me,
Okay.
simply because, say, for one of them, it really depends on what mood we want for dinner, you know?
Yeah.
It's our food mood.
Food mood.
So, one of the things that I like to fix and usually fix like once a week, biscuits and gravy,
Mm, mm,
or just a breakfast in general. We like to have it
mm,
for dinner. And if we do breakfast for dinner, we'll do biscuits, gravy, eggs, potatoes if I have them. I'll cut them up and make some fried potatoes and bacon. Now, this last time we did it, we had sausage. We didn't have any bacon, so we just used sausage. And I do like to take and put sausage in my gravy,
mm-hmm.
even if we're having bacon. So, pig with pig.
Can't beat that.
No, not at all.
Yeah, my
And
husband and I had breakfast for supper last night.
what'd you have?
Well, I didn't feel like pulling out the sausage, so we had bacon. I fried it up, and then we had made omelets. Made some big
Hmm.
omelets. I made him a 6 egg omelet, and me a 3 egg omelet, and I put um, um, spinach and bell peppers in it with goat cheese. And then once it was done, I top it off with what it has on the inside. I put on the outside of it. He likes a lot of salt and pepper. I just put a little bit of salt on mine. And then we had a bacon on the side, and I cut us each up an orange, and we ate an orange. So that's what we had for supper last night.
Yeah, sounds good.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, when Arnie and I first got married, and I was making gravy and biscuits for the first time, right? So you make your biscuits and
Hmm.
you put them in the oven.
Hmm.
While they're baking, you make your gravy.
Right.
So to make the gravy, you take preferably bacon grease
Hmm.
here in our neck of the woods,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you put it in I have started fixing my gravy in a pot because when we had all four kids here with us,
Hmm.
a pan was not big enough.
Yeah.
So I used my spaghetti pot. Um, but you put it in there and you let it get hot. And I don't know if you do it this way or not, DD, but I will go ahead and put salt
Hmm.
in with the bacon grease. And if you don't have
Yeah.
bacon grease, you can use like vegetable oil.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
or sausage drippings work good too.
Yeah. And it's got to be hot, but then once it reaches starts to shimmer, you'll see it because the oil in a pan gets hot when you've got it in your pot. It kind of gets this shimmery look to it.
Hmm. It kind of starts dancing or something.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
doesn't bubble. If it's
No.
doing that, then daggone, what are you making? You're not making gravy. But once it starts to do that little bit of shimmer, um, put in your flour. How much flour? Depends on how much grease.
Yeah.
But as soon as you put it in there, you better start whisking,
Yeah.
or you're going to have lumpy gravy.
Hmm.
All right. So then you let that get as brown as you want it to be. I typically like a lighter gravy,
I do
not
too.
real
Hmm.
brown.
Hmm.
All right. So we were first married and I was making this. And he comes walking through the kitchen and I'm, whisking because I don't want to have lumpy gravy. First
Hmm.
time making it for my new husband, right? So can you hand me the milk? So he hands me the milk. Now you can use evaporated milk if you want,
Hmm.
but a
Hmm.
lot of times I'll just use milk out of the refrigerator.
Yep. Me too. Sometimes. Yep.
Yep. And I took the lid off and I poured it in like this. And you get this big plume of steam that comes up. And he says, "What are you doing? You're going to curdle the milk." I said, "No, I'm not. I'm making gravy." He's still to this day, we've been married forever, and he will not even attempt to make gravy. Won't even
Huh.
attempt it. He's like, "No,
Huh.
that's some kind of witchy magic that you and your mother and your sisters do. I can't do that."
That's how you make gravy, as far as I know.
Hey, as far as I know, that's how you make gravy too. Now listen,
Yeah.
if you're from New York and you're listening to this is not what you call gravy is not gravy. It's spaghetti sauce.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah, because I had when I lived in Florida, I had some Italian friends, and they were talking about making spaghetti and gravy, and I'm like, I don't get that. What do you mean spaghetti and gravy? And they said, yeah,
Gross.
gravy, And they explained it to me, and I'm like, oh, you mean spaghetti sauce? You mean sauce? And they said, yes. I'm like, that's not gravy. Gravy. Um, I don't know. Maybe they call it gravy because they may add flour to it to thicken it.
Have no idea.
But yeah, I know I've known some people who call spaghetti sauce gravy, and I don't see it. Sorry, I
Yeah,
especially
me
don't
either.
see spaghetti and gravy because to me, when you say gravy, you're making what Karen just explained.
Yeah.
It's not a sauce. No. So yeah.
Now, the next thing that I like to make, and simple, quick, easy dinner that anybody can do is spaghetti with meat sauce.
Hmm.
Not meatballs. Meatballs are a little more involved.
Yes.
Meat sauce, you take your can of ragu or whatever it is that you're going to be using, whatever sauce you
Hmm.
want to use. You brown up some burger. There you go,
Hmm.
meat sauce.
Yeah.
And
You
then
know
all
what
you
I
got to
do?
do is make
Yeah.
your spaghetti.
Yeah. Sometimes whenever I do spaghetti, is I will mix in some ground pork sausage, and that gives it an extra kick. My husband likes it.
Yeah. Yeah, you use
Yeah,
like a mild sausage or just a,
yeah, just a mild sausage. Yeah, just give it a
yeah.
little bit of a different flavor and a different kick. And he likes it pretty good. And I'll do that with when I make chili as well.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Chili, if you use like half beef and half pork on
Hmm.
your meat,
Hmm.
so good.
Yes, it is. It's very, very good. And and I remember once I was going to make chili, and I thought I had everything in the house that I needed to make it, and I didn't have any beans. Because when I make chili that's not for a hot dog, I put beans in it,
Hmm.
and I didn't have any beans, but I had black beans. And I'm like, can I use black beans to make chili? Can I use black beans? I said, well, why not? Let's give it a shot. And I did it. And let me tell you what, it was so good.
Oh yeah.
The chili made with black beans. It's really
We
good.
will usually use two different kinds of beans. We'll use like a can
Uh-huh.
of um, some kind of like a white bean or a light red kidney bean
Mhm.
and a
Mhm.
black bean.
Okay. I that's the first time I'd ever used black beans. I normally just use like um, kidney beans,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, or not that I ever have any leftover pintos, but if if I've got some leftovers, because I'm trying to get into the habit of using all of my leftovers instead of letting them go away.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I feed them to the chickens when I can, but sometimes I don't because if it's got like a lot of salt in it or something, I don't like to give that to the animals. But and when I fix my pinto beans, I'll put salt in it when I cook it. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I would use leftover pintos too. So
Yeah.
sorry, we got
Well,
off your
that's
topic. I'm sorry.
no, that's all right because that is actually what's next on my list is pinto beans and
Oh,
cornbread.
hey, all right. Woohoo.
And I salt the crap out of my pinto beans.
Mhm.
One of the very few things I salt
Mhm.
as I'm cooking because I
Yeah, me too.
typically don't salt a lot of things. Like I won't
Mhm.
salt, I don't know, name something. The ground beef that I was just talking about, like right?
Right, or eggs, like when you're in process of making eggs. Like when I make the omelets, I don't salt them when I'm making them. If you want salt on it, put it on the plate.
Yeah, on a plate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's very few things I'm like you that I will salt. I will salt gravy, like you were just talking
gravy.
about. I will
Mm-hmm.
salt pinto beans,
Pinto beans.
and
Yep.
most of the time I will salt noodles.
I don't.
But I don't put a lot in it. I just
Yeah.
put a
Oh,
sprinkling of
Arnie
salt in it.
always has to come back in and resalt on
Well,
his
yeah.
plate because I don't.
Hmm.
I,
Yeah.
I don't put in enough.
Yeah. Well, I don't those are about the only things that unless I'm making a recipe and I've got the recipe I'm following and it says add this much salt, then yeah, I'll add it because I'm making the recipe for the first time.
Right.
But
Yeah.
typically, once I find a recipe, if I kind of liked it, I'll probably change it to fit what I like better, which
Mm-hmm.
so I may or may not completely take the salt out. It depends on what it is.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the best meal for pinto beans and cornbread is to have it with some fresh garden vegetables.
Yes.
Pulled right off the vine, cucumbers,
Hmm. Hmm.
tomatoes,
Hmm.
um,
Onions.
oh, some green onions.
Yep.
So good. So good.
Fried potatoes are good with pinto beans too.
Yes, they are. Yes, they
Hmm.
are.
And our mother likes to eat coleslaw with her pinto beans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
I like coleslaw with my pinto
But yeah,
beans if I've got it.
it's good. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, if I've got some left over because I made some and we didn't eat it all, making pinto beans and putting it with it's fine, or making fish and putting it with fish because it goes well with fish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I just like coleslaw. I think
yeah,
it's
I
good.
do. I do too. It's good.
Is that
Now,
technically a
for some
salad?
people who are
Is
listening,
coleslaw a salad?
I don't know. Now, for people who are listening who may not know the real way you should eat pinto beans, you need soup in the pinto beans. It's not just the beans. Okay, you have beans and you have soup, and you have to add the cornbread to the beans and the soup.
Arnie and I were married for about, gosh, 8 or 10 years before he before I ever convinced him to put his cornbread in his pinto beans.
But he finally did, right?
Yeah, he did. He would take a bite of beans and then he would take a bite of cornbread and then he would take a bite of beans and I said, "What are you doing?" Because again, the first time he saw me do it, when I fix a bowl of or we've
Hmm.
been calling them pinto beans, but a lot of when we were kids we called them brown beans. Yep, I'll take my cornbread and I'll put it in my bowl, crumble it up a little bit, break it apart, and then I'll put my beans in on top of it, and then I'll put a little bit of
Hmm.
butter and then some onions,
Hmm.
and then
Yep.
coleslaw if I've
And
got it.
yeah, and coleslaw is a type of salad. Yes.
Oh, okay. I kind of wondered if it was because it's several different ingredients.
Hmm. And it's things from the garden. It's coleslaw, and I put carrots in mine. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I like carrots in my coleslaw. It's good that
Yeah,
way.
me too.
All right.
Hmm.
Now, the next thing that I have on my list is called egg roll in a bowl. Have you ever made that?
Okay. I've not. I've made actual egg rolls before, but I've not made an egg roll in a bowl.
Pull up the recipe that I like to use. Egg roll in a bowl. And what you will need is ground beef or sausage. I prefer sausage. Um, you can make your own sausage if you want. It calls for 2 medium onions. I'm sorry, that's a pound and a half of your meat of choice. It calls for 2 medium onions finely chopped. I never use that many onions. I personally only use one.
Hmm.
It calls for unrefined sesame oil, and that is a big one to give it that extra little bit of punch, for like an Asian kick
Yes,
to it.
yes. If you want your meal to taste Asian, you have to have the sesame oil. It makes a huge
Yep,
difference.
huge difference. Yes. It also
Yes, because
calls
if you don't use the
for,
sesame oil, it's not going to taste like an Asian dish.
right, no matter how much soy sauce you put in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
It calls for powdered ginger, black pepper, garlic granules or minced garlic, salt. This recipe, I've never used it, not even the first time I made it. Calls for stevia extract, but I don't put any kind of sweetener in it. Crushed red pepper, that's optional. Just depends if you want it or not. It
Hmm.
calls for white wine, but you can just leave that out and add a little bit of extra beef
Hmm.
broth. And it calls for a third cup of beef broth. And then I would add 2 tablespoons of beef broth because it called for 2 tablespoons of white wine. And then it calls for nine
Hmm.
cups of shredded cabbage, 1.5 cups of shredded carrots, um, tamari to taste, or there's substitutes for that. I've never used the tamari.
Hmm.
Green onion for garnish, and you can use rice or cauliflower rice.
Hmm.
Yeah, oh, it's so good. I'll send you this recipe, Dee Dee.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've made the egg rolls where you have the little wrap and you take them and you roll them up and you
Yeah,
fry them
yeah,
up. I've done that before. They were really good.
yeah.
It's been
I'll
years since I've
send you
done it
this,
though, because it's okay.
and it doesn't take
It was
too
time
awful long to
consuming.
fix. Oh yeah, making regular
Yeah,
egg
because
rolls
that
is
doesn't
very
sound like
time
it would be.
consuming.
Yeah, it's time consuming because you gotta have your little whatever your pastry dough, your dough, whatever. I don't even remember what it's called
The
now.
wonton.
And you put your stuff in it, and yeah, you got a certain way you got to fold it up and roll it up, and yeah, they were
Hmm.
really good. But yeah, I mean, I like to cook, but I don't like to spend hours rolling egg rolls.
No. Now, this next one is one that my youngest son is, this is probably his favorite meal that I have ever fixed for him. Chicken and dumplings. And
Yeah, that's yummy.
I don't do the dumplings that go in the oven, like that kind. I don't do that kind. I do,
Oh
you
yeah, me
drop it
neither.
into your pot of broth.
I do no, I do biscuit dumplings,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah, you
like
take your,
drop biscuits. You drop
yep,
them in.
drop them
Yeah.
right in. Yep, yep,
Yep, I
yep,
don't cook them in advance in the oven. I don't make noodle dumplings. I don't do noodle dumplings because to me, noodle dumplings are noodles.
right.
If I'm going to do noodles and chicken, it's going to be chicken noodle soup, not, yeah. So to me, dumplings are biscuit dumplings or they're not dumplings. Otherwise, they're noodles.
Yeah, yeah. But that is one of his favorite things. When he was in the service and would come home to visit, I would make
Oh,
sure that I had the ingredients
mm-hmm,
for everything and just fix it. You had talked about making a roast, and a roast with carrots and potatoes is one of my
mm-hmm.
things that I like to
Mm,
fix.
Mhm.
It's one of those,
Mhm.
you just throw it in a crock pot, and when it's
Yep.
dinner time, it's done. And I like to put onions in with it.
Oh yeah, it does. It
Roast.
kind of adds a pop to it.
Yeah, yeah, it does. I like to take my roast before I put it in the crock pot, unless it's frozen. Now, a
Mhm.
lot of times I will freeze my roast and then use it later. But
Mhm.
if it's fresh, I will sear it on all sides
Yep.
and then put it in the crock
Yep.
pot. It helps hold
Yep.
all those juices in. And then you
Mhm.
can't
It's
have
always a good thing to
roast.
do if you can.
Yeah, you cannot have roast with carrots and potatoes without cornbread. So again, cornbread.
Yes.
And then probably my favorite meal to fix is Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, yeah. I've done that before. It's a lot of time and effort, but it is rewarding. Let's put it that
Yeah,
way.
very satisfying in more ways than
Yes.
one. I mean, your stomach's going to be satisfied, your family's going to be satisfied.
Mhm.
I like to do turkey and dressing. I don't stuff my bird because we usually just end up using a turkey breast. None of us are real big on the dark meat, so we just use a turkey
Mhm.
breast. Turkey dressing, green beans, rolls, sweet potato casserole, deviled eggs, pumpkin pie or a pie of some kind of a salad, like a macaroni salad or a
Mhm.
potato salad, and cranberry sauce and homemade
Mhm.
cranberry sauce. But when Shalon was here this past Thanksgiving, we did get the canned jellied cranberry sauce for her oldest because she likes that.
Yeah. 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 I don't like pumpkin pie.
Well, if you were here, I would fix you apple pie. You like apple
Yeah,
pie?
I like apple pie, but I don't like pumpkin. I don't like pumpkin at all. I mean, I like the seeds out of a pumpkin. You take the seeds out and roast them, toast them, salt them, and stuff, and they're good. They're yummy. But a pumpkin, not a big fan of pumpkin.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like even
that's
like around
probably.
the fall when they got the pumpkin lattes and all that stuff, and everybody's so excited about it. I'm like, you can have it. No thanks.
Yeah, no, my youngest son, um, his favorite thing about Thanksgiving dinner is the sweet potato casserole and the pumpkin pie.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes to frost his piece of pumpkin pie with Cool Whip. And I don't mean just like a spoonful. I mean, it's, yeah, like a cake.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I like to cook. And it's
Right.
none of it, nothing on this list was fancy.
No, none of my
And
sandwiches were fancy.
no, I mean the hardest one I think on your list, Dee Dee, was probably the barbecue sandwich. And that's not even
Probably.
hard
Yeah.
in and of itself because your
Mm-hmm.
cookpot's doing the cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And food is one of those ways where we where we can show people exactly how much we care for them by actually taking the time
Mm-hmm.
to fix them something good, something that they like,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to kill yourself doing it. Well, except for maybe once or twice a year when you're doing the holiday meal.
Okay. I
All
think I'm
right.
hungry.
So I know I'm hungry. All right, next week we're going to be talking about foods for brain health and find out why Dee so much smarter than the rest of us.
Oh, I ain't smarter than you all.
Well, Shalon will be
Mhm.
back with us next week. All right. I will see you next
Yeah.
week.
I'll see you next week. Hopefully, you and I'll be better rested.
Yes. I may actually have my lunch and then go take a nappy nap.
Yeah, I got too much to do, but yeah, I'll be going to bed early though for sure.
All right. Bye.
Bye, honey. I love you.
Love you.